Hi all, welcome to this session. Today we are going to see the simplification of CFG. So if a context-free grammar is given, how we can simplify the grammar or how we can check whether it is simplified or not. Okay, so in simplification of CFG, it has three steps. So the step one is you have to eliminate or you have to remove epsilon productions. And what is epsilon production means? Any production of the form A gives epsilon. Okay, any production in which the right hand side we have epsilon, that is epsilon production, or we call it as null production. Okay, so this is the first step. If you want to simplify any production, first you have to eliminate the null productions or unit productions. Then the second step is eliminate unit productions. And what is unit production means? Any production of the form A gives B. Okay, that means on the right side we have only single variable. Okay, only one variable on the right side, that is unit production. That also we have to remove. And the last step is step 3, that is to eliminate the useless productions and symbols. Useless productions and symbols. And what is meant by useless production and useless symbol? Okay, so useless production means any production that won't contribute to the derivation of any string. Okay, the production does not that does not contribute to the derivation of a string. Okay, that means uh, using that production you cannot end up in any string, not even a single string we cannot generate using the useless production. And useless symbol is also the same. When we derive any string, these symbols won't come or they won't contribute to the derivation of the string. And the one method to find the useless symbol is find the symbols that are not reachable from from the start symbol. Okay, so for example, if we have a production like this, S gives A B, and A gives A, and B gives B, and suppose we have another variable C gives D, like this. So from this, I can say C is a useless symbol, because when I start from S, there is no way to reach C. So from S, I can reach AB. Okay, then there is no way to reach C. Okay, so this is a useless production, and this C is a useless symbol, and this production is useless, that we can remove. Okay, so you have to take every production in your grammar and check whether they can derive any string. So if they are not able to derive any string, then that are useless productions. And after removing useless productions, you have to remove the useless symbols. So these are the steps. So let's see an example. So this is an example. S gives A or ABB, then A gives AAA or epsilon, B gives BB or BBC, and C gives B. This is the production. So we follow the first step. In step 1, what we have to do, we have to find out the epsilon productions. So here this is an epsilon production. Okay, A gives epsilon is there. Okay, one epsilon symbol is there. So this symbol we have to remove. So this one in S gives except that production, all other productions you have to note down. So I will write all other productions. S gives ABB, then A gives A, and epsilon I won't write, I exclude that. Then B gives BB or BB, and this is capital C. Okay, then C gives B. Okay, now what we have to do means, I have excluded epsilon. Now how we make this effect of A gives epsilon in this production? So for that, what we have to do, this A is giving the value epsilon. So A is called a nullable variable. So you check, we call it as nullable variable, and you check the right side of the production. Wherever you have this nullable variable, there you substitute epsilon and get new productions. Okay, you should not make any change to these existing productions. And in addition to these productions, you have to add new productions by substituting epsilon in place of this A, in place of this nullable variable. So here we have a capital A. So when I substitute a epsilon there, I will get the value. I will write in different color. These, I think this will be visible. Okay, so in place of this A, I am going to substitute epsilon. So I will get A epsilon it is, but epsilon has no meaning in the string. So epsilon I removed. Then here we have another A. Okay, again there I substituted epsilon, so I will get A. Then in other productions there is no nullable variable. Okay, so wherever you get nullable variable, there you have to substitute epsilon and get new productions. Okay, so these are the productions after removing the epsilon production. Now what we have to do, we have to do the second step, that is step 2. What is step 2? We have to find out unit productions. So unit productions, so here you check all the productions where we have a single variable. Here we have a single terminal. Okay, here we have a single variable. So this is C gives B is the unit production in this grammar. There can be any number of unit productions and any number of epsilon productions. Okay, so for all those you have to apply the same. So C gives B, and you have to, instead of this B, you have to substitute something. So for that you have to see the rule of B. What is the rule of production rule of B? B gives BB or BBC. So this can be, B can be replaced with the BB or BBC. So that means instead of writing C gives B, I can write C gives BB or BBC. Okay, so this production should be replaced with this one. Okay, so I am going to rewrite all the production again. There is no more unit production, so I have removed all the unit productions in this step. Okay, now A gives A or A, then B gives BB, BBC, and instead of giving C gives B, I will write BB and BBC. This is the production after removing unit productions. Okay, there is no more unit production in it, so I have removed all others. Now the step 3. Step 3, you have to find useless productions first, useless productions. Okay, so how do we find useless production? Means you take every production in your grammar. So I start with the S gives A. Okay, and try to derive a string. So for this A, I can substitute, here we have terminal. So I will substitute A instead of this capital A. So I got a string from this grammar. So from this production. So this is a useful production. Then if the production gives you a string, that is a useful production, and if we cannot derive any string from a particular production, that is useless. So I go for the next production. S gives A, BB. Okay, then substitute for the variables. We have two B's over here. So when I try to substitute, we have this substitution or this. Any one we can follow. So I substitute the first one. okay, bb. What happen, again b repeats. Okay, then what happen if I substitute bbc, again here also one variable comes. So when any time I substitute for b, either another variable b or c will come. Okay, that means this production cannot end in any string. Okay, this cannot generate string, this production. It can't generate string. So what does it mean? This is a useless production. This S gives ABB is a useless production. Okay. So what we do, we have to remove this production from our grammar. This will be removed. Then let's see what is the remaining production. And you see the next one. Okay. S gives A, the next production, that is already a string, so that is valid. And similarly you can see for other productions also. Okay, and just like a gives a for that you can substitute a here, it will give you in this thing string, so that is also valid. This is already a string, that is valid. Then b gives bb, this will be invalid and this will be invalid. Okay, that we will come to that later. So we are going to remove this useless production. This production we will remove. Okay, so after removing that, our production will look like this, A, A. So this one we have removed. This production we removed. Now we have A gives A or A. Then B gives BB or BBC. Then C gives BB or BBC. This is the production after removing useless productions. And now we have to see useless symbols. That symbol which is not reachable from S. So suppose we start from S. Okay, S is from S we can reach A. And from A, we are again going to A only. There is no way to reach B and C from S. That means when we start deriving any string from this, okay, so when we substitute again for A, we will get A only. Okay, in this derivation, in any place, this B and C won't come. So that means B and C are useless symbols. So what we have to do, we will simply remove that one from our grammar. That means they are useless symbols. So those useless symbols we will just remove from our production rules. Okay. So after removing these two, our final production will be like this. This is our final answer. S gives A or A, and A gives A or A. And here you check whether any useless productions remains. There is no useless production remains. From S gives A, I can give a string, and A gives A also. This will give the string. So this is our final answer. This is the simplified grammar. Okay, so these three steps you have to follow in any simplification of the production.